Hello, everybody. How you doing out there? It's Doc Kane coming at you, June 3rd. Colby, Japan with the podcast. Marketers who can't market. I can't market. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes we do, right? And sometimes we're here to help you figure out what it is that you don't know on the podcast. And today, I have a little short and sweet message for you. I want to turn the tables a little bit and not so much as suggest things that you try or suggest things that you change or do to get better at marketing. Um, Today, I'm a little bit more interested in getting you to think more about yourself and more about what you have done this year and last year to help yourself get to where it is that you want to be, whether that's in your own business or in helping somebody else with their own business, their business as a team member or something along those lines. Maybe you're a consultant and you're helping people. But ultimately, I want you to look inward on this one and think about what it is that you've accomplished this year. We're halfway through 2021, and I think a lot of people out there are feeling like not much has been accomplished in life the last year and a half because of the way the world has been. And I'm quite sure that if you really take a step back and look at yourself, you'll find that you've done a lot more than you think you have. The idea for this came from a couple places this week. I had a meeting with one of my clients who had a birthday this week, and she's 47, turned 47, and was telling me that she never in the past had thought about like age. It was never a thing to her to like turn another year older. It was just like time ticking by and never really thought about it. And that's kind of the way I look at birthdays too. They're just kind of fairly meaningless to me, and I often forget how how old I am at some points throughout the year. Um, but this particular client of mine was a little bothered by it because she said that this year she did think about how old she was turning and was a little distressed. She was saying to me, "What happened to last year? What happened to 46? I feel like I've done nothing in this last year, and now I'm 47." And it was the first time that she had ever really had this thought. Um, it's an interesting idea, and it's driven forth because of Corona and the way life has been. And she's an outgoing person and hasn't had the opportunity to do a lot of the things that normally keep her busy throughout the day. Keep her busy on top of her regular job, which is as a dentist. So she is a very busy person as it is, and she's helping people with their lives and helping to keep them healthy and the community healthy on the whole. And she's done far more than she's able to kind of see in this small lens that she's holding up in front of her uh, at this moment in time. Um, it was an interesting conversation, and I hadn't ever heard anybody put it that way before that moment. And then today, I was in a Facebook group. I was wandering around in a Facebook group, and a gentleman posted a very wonderful question, an introspective question, where he was asking the gentleman who runs the group if he could. The person asking the question was asking if he could find a way to understand as to how the host thought. Like, what was this person's thinking, and how did he make his decisions? What sort of framework did he lay out in order to come to the conclusions that he had come to that enabled him to be successful? It was a really, really interesting question, and the person posing the question said this as well. Said something to the effect of, "I realized that many people's successes are due to circumstance and fortune or fortunate introduction to somebody, let's say, or whatever. But you know, subjective reasons were the reasons for a number of people's successes. Um, and I thought that was very wise. But what I found was also interesting is that even though this particular person was saying this and aware that there's so much luck, really, for lack of a better expression, in what usually turns out to be good for someone, even though they knew that thing, they still were asking, this person was still asking, uh, how is it that you do this thing differently? Because you must be thinking about it in a different way, or because you're successful and I can feel it, and there's something that you're doing that I'm not doing, and I can't figure out what it is. Can you tell me? I'll pay you, he said. I'll pay you to like get inside your head for a while. And the person that hosts this group has a product that you can buy, and it's very, very expensive. Um, and this person asking the question could buy that product, but I think he was just kind of honestly asking, like, what am I missing? What am I feel like I'm working hard, and he wasn't necessarily saying this, but it was coming through in the language. Like, I'm working hard and I'm not kind of getting there. What is it? What am I missing? And it's something that I really relate to. Um, I have felt often the same way about this sort of thing, and in part, this is why this podcast exists. I've kind of mentioned this in a little bit before. Um, Coffee time. And seeing another person phrase it in very much the way I might do it was kind of eye-opening. And I responded back to him with a kind of message that has been the message I've been trying to live with for the last year or so. And this is a gift that my wife has given me. This idea to think of my life and what it is that I've accomplished as something worth being proud of and something worth acknowledging, right? Because I think when you are always focused on the next thing in business or in life, you do tend to forget what it is that you're doing now, or that you did just a little while ago that helped you get to now, right? There's this Buddhist thought that you might be familiar with that basically says that if you're not thinking about and you're not living in the now, then you're not living at all, right? We can't live in the past and we can't live in the future because neither of those things are here for us at this moment in time, and it's very, very true. I do think that you can remember the things that you've done in the past, especially if it's in a positive way, as I'm suggesting here tonight. Because there is a lot that we've accomplished and there is a lot that we know already. And at a certain point in time, we have to kind of feel like we know enough, right? This analogy of driving down the highway with your the headlights of your car leading your way, and you can only see as far as your headlights will take you, right? But yet you can drive from this place, if you're in America, from one end of the country to the other. This is Jack Canfield telling this story in The Secret, if you've ever told this or seen this film. It's a good story, and it's really true. We don't know where the hell we're going, and we can't possibly know everything that we need to know. We just have to kind of take the leap. In class today, this is the third time it kind of came up and made me think about wanting to mention it this evening. In class, I had some students today that are quite good with English and yet still feel that they don't have it, that they need more, right? Or they couldn't possibly have enough in order to feel confident to speak with confidence. And it's difficult for me to hear that because they can speak well, and they have a few stumbles here and there, but that's not what's important. And so, thinking about their situation and the things that they're saying, and my wife and I were talking about it again. We were going over what my day was like here this evening, and once again, she was getting me to really kind of think about these situations. And so, if I think about these kids feeling that way, that they don't have the confidence to be able to do what it is I see they can do. Uh, it's kind of stirs up in me the desire to want to help them see what it is that they really can. You can do that, right? Don't feel that you can't do it. You can do that. And so the encouraging side of me wants to kind of push them and make them realize that they do have that, right? But at the same time, as I'm doing dishes then later and thinking about this before I came up here tonight to turn on the mic, I started to realize as my wife's words were ringing in my head, and I was starting to think like this is exactly, their reluctance to kind of take that additional step in a way is a little bit of fear and a little bit of lack of confidence, and they feel like they need the thing that they can't find, right? It's like the guy in the Facebook group, he needs that thing, I need that thing. We all need that thing to make us feel like we're doing something positive or good or moving us forward. But yeah, we're already moving forward, and we're already doing fine. And this is the thing that my wife is always bringing me back to, right? She'll tell me like, you don't need to know everything, and you already know more than you know, right? uh, and so I want you to think about this. What is it that you feel that you have to have, and how much have you already accomplished to this point in your life, and is it enough now to get you to where you really want to be? Would you be better served by pulling back from searching and just kind of doing at this point in time? Take the knowledge that you have and do something with it, and pepper the knowledge that you already have with some new things, probably tactical things that you do not know, as opposed to theoretical and how do you think about this and how do I have found in the last just few months, as I've really started to focus on making Nihon Hustle into something that is useful for other people, and then I can see eyeballs finally starting to see to visit on my site. Just in these past few months, I found that what's starting to happen is the knowledge of a lifetime that I've accumulated in human knowledge, as well as marketing and sales knowledge and writing knowledge and all these sorts of things that I'm decent at, right, professionally, have been really turned into overdrive as I plug in a little bit of technique here and there from people that I am reading about technique online, right? So I can apply the technique into my own general being and my own theory, and it's starting to kind of happen, right? It's still very slow, but I can feel it. I'm in the right spot. The less I get out of my own head, or excuse me, the more I get out of my own head, and the more I just kind of go, the better the results are. So think about that tonight, or this morning if it's your morning. What have you done last year? A lot, probably. If you struggle with this, wrap your year around a single word. I do this practice. I read a book a couple years ago called One Word. That's all you need to know, really. You don't even need to buy the book. Pick one word and guide your entire life for that year kind of through that word. So my word this year is thrive, right? Last year it was grow. And I did that. Everything I was thinking about was on growing in some way, not just business, but personally, health-wise, everything. This year it's thrive. And so when I try and think about decisions that are big decisions, even small ones, I kind of look at it through that lens, right? So if you have difficulty with this, try that on for size. You might find that it works and it helps you to remember things. If you don't remember in general and you're already kind of focused enough, you could do a little trick that some people do with regard to keeping track of their day at work. Like some people want to be some people who want to be like on top of their game when it comes time for review sessions with a boss will have throughout the year or throughout each quarter, let's say, made a note of all the different things that they do each day or each week, because we all forget, right? And when you go into the review session with your superior and they're trying to like come up with the same sort of thing, they don't know really what you've done. They've forgotten as well. It puts you in a better negotiating position. You can say, well, I did this and I did that and I did that, and there was that project that I helped bring to life, and there's that thing. Write these sort of things down if it will help you with regard to your own life. We all are familiar with the idea of creating goals, like I'm going to do this month, and this is how I'm going to do it, quantifying it, right? If you actually write down what you did do, that will help you when you look backwards. And especially when you feel like, where the hell did the year go? And where did 46 go? Or can I pay you money to tell me a little bit about how you're so successful? If you do that, I have this hunch that it might be you who's sitting there with your own Facebook group at some point in time, and someone's in your forum and saying, hey, how did you do that thing that brought you to this point where you're so successful? You must be different than me. You must be thinking in a different way, right? And you'll be able to do what most people can't do when they're asked that question. When you ask the sales guy, how is it that you're able to close so much business? When you ask the musician, how did you manage to become so well known and so famous? Those folks usually can't answer that question. But if you took notes, you very well might be able to answer that question. So there you have it. Podcast for tonight, June 3rd, 2021. Marketers who can't market. I think maybe you marketed a lot this year. You just don't remember. Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, kinda. For another exciting episode of the podcast. I'm not so sure. I think tomorrow I'm going to talk tools, a couple cool tools that I use that might be useful for you to know, because tactical is good, right? All right, that's it for today. If you dug this, don't forget to hit the old like and subscribe button. I have to always remember to promote myself, toot my own horn, beep, beep. Oh, and ring the bell, the notification bell if you forget to come back tomorrow, because we're every day here at Marketers Who Can't Market. I will see you tomorrow night. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you are in the world. It has been a pleasure, as always, speaking with you. Doc saying, see you later.